Commissioners, the next item, which is item number 7, is an application for a certificate of appropriateness in the Borough of Manhattan. It's Block 225, Lot 7501, 463 Greenwich Street in the Tribeca North Historic District. It's docket number 156116. A Romanesque revival-style warehouse designed by George W. DeCuna and built in 1854-1855. Application is to construct a rooftop bulkhead.
Okay, good morning. Commissioners, Gabriella Katowski, Preservation staff. This application is for 463 Greenwich Street, located in the Tribeca North Historic District. It's the entire block of Greenwich Street, bound by Watt Street and Desbrosses Street. The application before you today is to extend an existing elevator to the roof. Currently, it just goes to the top floor. That would include extending an existing bulkhead. So in this image, you see the building. The lower portion here is the existing bulkhead, which was there at the time of designation. And then the proposed extension is seen in this mock-up, clad in a dark gray material. And the most updated roof plans are in your packet. It just includes the landscape design of the roof. And the project architect is here to further explain and answer any questions.
Thank you, Gabriella.
Hi, my name is Alfred Carmen. I'm involved with the extension of the bulkhead as part of the elevator upgrade. Presently, the elevator is a freight elevator. It's manually operated. They're going to upgrade it to automatic. The reason it goes to the roof, there is a mandated zoning resolution that allows or requires a roof garden at the under this district. So the design calls for a future roof garden. Before the roof garden can get there, we have to get the elevator up to the roof. It's in the present location. Unfortunately, the location is at the edge of the building. If you have a roof plan, I can give you a better...
Sure, I mean, if you prefer...
Yeah, let me do
Yeah,
that.
if we have it.
That's basically, this is the aesthetics of it, as far as what it's going to be. This is presently the look. Oops.
Oh, I'm sorry, I didn't mean to do that. I thought... I mean...
There you go. This here is the present, the mock-up of the, not the mock-up, but the present location of the bulkheads. This is the extension, as Gabrielle mentioned. The reason I want to update, which I don't, this is the latest drawing, because I found the, I don't know how you're going to read this.
Yeah.
I'll tell you what I'm going to do. Can I put it in front of your desk? Like that?
Oh, yes.
There you go. See the icon. It's wonderful. We found updated drawings for the roof terrace. This is what they propose to do. This is the location of the elevator shaft here. This is an elevator bulkhead here. It doesn't go to the roof. This has been upgraded. There is an elevator here that's been upgraded but does not go to the roof. And there's another elevator somewhere over here that does not go to the roof. They're presently updated and functioning. This here is a freight elevator, and the intention is to upgrade it after, as I mentioned, after they get the approval. Like this question.
Okay. I just have a question. Is this building being converted?
Oh, it's converted already.
It's already converted. Okay, so it's already been converted.
Already converted, yes.
But so the recreation space that you're proposing on the top, you don't have to do it, but you want to do it.
Zoning, there's an interesting in the historic district. I don't know if I have a section of the code.
Right, but
It mandates a certain amount of percentage of roof area for recreational use for the building and guests.
okay. So it was never satisfied up till now, and
No, it wasn't. It was always planned to. because
I see, okay.
Expense, but the building is what, 10 years? But this Matt Resnick, he's the
Yes,
building
Yes.
manager.
I'm the property manager, and maybe I might be able to give a little bit more background. So, we found, there's a
I
piece
think
of
that's,
code-
yeah, no, I mean, that's okay. I think I understand that.
So essentially, we have to allocate based on the code 2,600 square feet
Right.
of common roof deck. So we have a design and we know where the space is gonna be, but we can't get anybody up to the space because it requires, to take staircases, for most of the building addresses, that involve also a hatch. So the reason now for the elevators to bring you to the roof that everybody can access this common roof deck that we plan on implementing as our phase 2, with the elevator being phase 1, and then develop it from there.
Right, but the 2,600 square feet doesn't exist in the building right now.
Well,
Is it,
it has been allocated for it, yes, but there is no communal area, physical communal area now. The first thing we need to do is to get the elevator to go to the roof so that we could also bring up supplies and other things so that we can develop this allocated space.
okay. And just by looking at some, I guess it's these, the mock-up, is the intent that the material of the bulkhead as increased, is that going to be the same material as below, or is it just?
Yes, it's standing seam copper, and what we're going to do is replace it with the larger sections.
So it won't look like the
The-
rendering where it
It
looks
just-
like an existing
Oh,
another
no,
thing
no,
added.
that's-
Okay, so it's going to be
mock-up,
treated
yeah.
as one
We
surface.
call it the mock-ups, to give more of a massing of it, so you can get a better.
Okay,
idea
so you
what it
can
looks
show
like.
how
But
much
it'll
the
be
difference.
vertical.
The drawing
Plans
show.
show, the drawing
Okay,
show
the
copper
drawing-
going into
okay.
standing seam.
And I think my last question is that the overrun is, I think, 6 feet.
Yeah, the
3,
override,
right?
yeah.
So that is, is that the increase in the height from what it is right now?
That's basically from the existing.
Okay, and is that the minimum that you need in order
Oh,
to?
This is as good as it gets. In other words, we're aware of the fact, the height factor and the aesthetics of that enclosure.
Right,
So we use a machine roomless elevator, which we did away with a machine room up there, which would add another 5 feet or something to it. So, and that's as good as, presently there's a machine room up there, so we're going to take advantage of that too. So we're going to extend that and raise it.
okay. Other questions? Yes, John?
Do our architects collectively agree that that's the shortest that can be?
It's a technical question. I mean, I think you could ask staff to be sure.
It's pretty tall.
Well,
I'm the
yeah,
non-architect in the group, so I'm asking whether that's the shortest that bulkhead can be.
I don't think we know, really. I'll just point out
Yes.
that, you know, these loft kinds of buildings often have their elevators at the front of the building, unfortunately, because they're freight, and that's the closest
Yes.
to the street, and, you know, obviously you put it there. That's where it is. And getting to the roof, in my judgment, well, in this case, it's a legal requirement, but even if it weren't a legal requirement, getting to and using the roof, for me, often would offset a slight additional visibility of these things. So, I mean, I can approve it.
I think we've seen a range of different sort of heights and overruns to the elevator, and sometimes they've been larger than this. So I don't know if this is the minimum, but I think we could just ask them to work with the staff to make it as minimum as possible. I agree with Fred that, in fact, sometimes, yeah, the elevator bulkheads are at the street line, and it would make sense from a practical matter to continue to do that. So before we go into comments, though, are there any more questions? Because I'd like to take public testimony as well.
Can I mention that
Yeah.
we had a elevator consultant on this, and we reviewed every possible type of machinery, every possible type of
Okay.
elevator system. And this is the best it gets as far as height factor.
Okay. All right. Are there speakers on this item? Barbara Zay?
Barbara Zay of the Historic Districts Council. This bulkhead is extremely visible at the edge of the building, so we would ask that the height be reconsidered. Perhaps the installation of a hydraulic elevator would help bring down the height. Thank you.
Thank you. Are there any more speakers? All right. Community Board 1 has submitted their resolution. And the committee said that they consistently reject increased visible rooftop additions, including such elevator bulkheads, and therefore recommends that the Landmarks Preservation Commission reject this application. All right, just in terms of a hydraulic elevator, do you explore that as well, or is that not a practice?
It requires a machine room in the basement. This is a flood zone.
Okay, all
Designated
right.
flood zone, so that was kicked out. You're right, a hydraulic would reduce it to another, up 2 feet.
Okay, but there are practical difficulties in doing
Yeah,
that below
just
grade?
doesn't make sense.
Okay. All right, comments? Yes.
I guess one of the things that I think would reduce the visibility is having the cladding made of lead-coated copper or Rhine zinc, because to put standing seam sheet copper up there now, you're going to have a,
Yeah, it's a brown color.
You're gonna
Yes,
have-
there's a patina to it now.
but you're
Yeah,
not,
again,
you're not going to have patina now. Unfortunately, we're not burning coal. You won't have patina for another 80 years. We'll all be dead by then. But we're going to have that Frank Gehry effect where you've got the sun reflecting off this thing. So I would suggest a
well, I'm open to any.
different kind of
any
cladding.
visibility, Any reduce
That
the
seems fine.
impact of that.
And I
visibility.
think you could work with staff on that.
Yeah.
Okay. Any other comments? Okay, with those suggestions, working with staff, the commission's okay? All right, so we will close the hearing. Diana, would you like to read that?
Okay, thank you. In the matter of a certificate of appropriateness, Borough of Manhattan, 156116, 463 Greenwich Street, Tribeca North Historic District, Block 225, Lot 7501. Application is to construct a rooftop bulkhead, Zone C62A. I recommend approval with modifications, finding that the bulkhead will be located, finding that the bulkhead will be located above the existing elevator shaft, that no significant architectural features will be eliminated or altered by enlargement of the existing bulkhead, that the proposed standing seam metal cladding will harmonize with the existing bulkhead and other bulkheads on the roof, and that the staff will work with the applicant to ensure that either color or coating provides that the bulkhead be as minimally visible as possible and will not call undue attention to itself, and that the presence of a visible rooftop bulkhead is consistent with the industrial character of the historic district, which historically featured a variety of rooftop accretions. I think that's it.
All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Okay, this application is approved.